Surprises come in all shapes and sizes. I had thought my video review earlier this week of Hot to Feel Boyfriend was going to be my final video review of the month. However, an embargo showed up, and here I am doing another one. With the strategy RPG genre, a lot of people think they are grid-based, turn-based games. When I think of a strategy RPG, I think of Final Fantasy Tactics or Disgaea. However, in more recent years, some strategy RPGs have melded the genre with other genres as well. Valkyria Chronicles on the PS3 was one such example. They showed strategy RPG turn-based gameplay, but combined it with some free roam and third-person shooter elements. The most recent Atlas strategy RPG for the PlayStation Vita and PS3 also tries this, but puts in a few unique points of its own. Here is my official video review of the game compatible with the PS Vita and PlayStation TV, Lost Dimension. In the near future, the Earth is facing a crisis when a large pillar-like tower appears with a humanoid being called the End threatening to wipe out all life on Earth. In response to this, a specially trained unit known as the Sealed is sent in to remedy the situation. This unit of superhumans makes it into the tower but soon finds themselves at the mercy of the End himself. To progress up higher in the tower, they must sacrifice one of their own comrades each time they reach a new floor, hoping that they are a traitor. The End has informed them that on every floor, a new traitor will appear among their ranks, and they must find out who they are and eliminate them. The story of Lost Dimension is very emotional. It has a lot of character development, and there's a lot of tension because as you're going through each floor, you're constantly receiving premonitions and trying to figure out who the traitor is. It's not going to be an award-winning story, but it is very easy to get into and enjoy. Lost Dimension is a strategy RPG with action elements thrown into the mix. The base gameplay is strategy RPG turn-based gameplay, but during your turn you will have limited free roam, so there is a bit of an action-oriented part of the game. It's sort of like the gameplay of Valkyria Chronicles, but with less shooter elements. During the game, you'll have a couple different areas to go to. You can go to various dungeons when you're on quests, or you can go around your base of operations. At the base, there are a few different services and features you can go through. There is the Gate, which allows you to choose quests and go on missions. The Generator, which lets you buy and sell items. Setup, which lets you set up your character's equipment and enhance your skills. Talk, which lets you get to know the characters a little better and see a lot of character development. And Vision, which lets you see which characters trust you or not. That brings up the Traitor system, which is by far one of the most unique gameplay systems to this game. Every time you reach a new floor, a new traitor will emerge in your ranks. Your job will be to find out who the traitor is and coerce the other characters to lean towards voting them out when you get to the end of the floor, so that they'll be killed off and you'll be left with only characters who trust you. This feature is very easy to manipulate, since as soon as you get back from a mission, you'll get a couple scenes where a character will approach you and will say, "Who's the traitor?" and you can influence them to lean towards a specific person. So you can go back and replay missions and have them kill off whoever you want. Ideally, you think that you can use this system to your advantage, saying, "I like this main party, so I'm just going to have everybody kill off everyone else except these people." However, when you get to the final boss, if you choose not to kill off the traitors, the game will punish you for this by revealing the traitors and substantially increasing the difficulty of the final boss battle. Combat will proceed similar to Valkyria Chronicles. When you go into the game, your unit and the enemy unit will be spread around a map. On each of your turns, you will have the ability to have limited free roam to set up attacks. There are various ways of being efficient. If you attack an enemy from behind, you'll initiate a back attack and cause a lot more damage, and there are some skills that can attack more than one enemy at the same time. The two most crucial features of battle that you want to look at are deferring and assist attacks. If you have one of your units walk up and don't have enough range to hit an enemy, but they're right next to another of your units that's already taken their turn, you can defer your turn to them. This will let them have an extra turn so they can go up and attack the enemies instead of you. Assist attacks work by having allies near enemies when you attack them. If I have 3 allies set up next to an enemy, and I send a 4th one up and do a regular attack or a single unit attack, all 3 of the allies around will initiate assist attack. One thing to note is that enemies can do this as well, so you'll need to pay attention to how they are formed just as much as how you are. One last thing to note about the battle system is the Sanity Stat, or SAN stat. When you use your superhuman gifts, it is taxing on the human brain. Each time you use one, your points for using skills will go down, but your sanity will as well. If your sanity gets too low, the character will go insane and enter berserk status, not differentiating targets between allies and enemies. The difficulty of the game is there. This is not a hardcore strategy RPG, but it's not a super easy one either. The nice thing about the difficulty is that when you're at your base, you can easily switch back and forth between the easy and normal difficulties. But just because you set it to the easy difficulty doesn't mean the game's going to be easy. You'll still need to do a fair amount of equipment upgrading, and you'll still need to strategize a lot to be able to beat the game, especially during the final boss fights. Even if you have it on normal, it's not going to be painfully hard, but it's not going to be painfully easy either. Overall, Lost Dimension is probably one of the shortest strategy RPGs I've ever played. The game has 5 floors, and there are about 30 different quests spanning those 5 floors. With an average of about 12 to 15 minutes per quest, the entire game could take you as little as 8 to 10 hours if you're running on the easy difficulty, accounting for the missions as well as story scenes. If you're on the normal difficulty all the way through, you could probably expect it to be maybe 12 or 15 hours. But all in all, this is very short for a strategy RPG. As far as the presentation is concerned, there is good, but there is also bad. The good thing about the presentation is that the physical models and the 3D renders look fantastic. Even if you zoom in on the renders, you can't find very many jagged edges anywhere. Everything looks superb, and the Vita version could probably pass as the PS3 version when you're playing on the PlayStation TV. The bad part of the presentation are that there are a lot of flaws to be fixed. First of all, there's a lot of lag and slowdown in the game. When you're at the base of operations, which focuses as a menu, there's a lot of lag and slowdown when you're just trying to go through different options. When you're in the middle of combat, there is a little bit of slowdown, but it's not nearly as severe as it is at your base of operations. The other major flaw is that the game can crash on you. On several occasions, I've tried to boot up the game and I've had it crash as soon as it tries to boot up, and continue crashing every time I try to boot it up several times after. This is a major problem that they definitely need to fix. Lost Dimension is a very unique strategy RPG, which takes elements from other games like Valkyria Chronicles. On the downside, the game's not very long, there are some crashing and lag issues, but if you can look past all of this, you'll find a very intriguing and unique RPG, whether you want to play it on the PlayStation TV at home, or you want it on the go on the Vita. PlayStation Vita Reviews rates Lost Dimension a 7 out of 10. If you would like to comment on this, you may do so below, or head to our site at vitareviews.net. If you'd like more info on PlayStation TV compatibility like this game, head to our site or check the link below in the description. And if you'd like to donate to any of my projects, that link is also in the description.